Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video. The relationship between me, 20, and my elder sister, 24, was never smooth, and all I remember from our childhood is us fighting over every little issue. Our parents kept sorting things for us, but we would never skip a chance to initiate a fight. She always wanted everything I liked and would do anything to get it, and if she would not get her hands on it, she would make sure to destroy that thing. I remember whenever my dad brought gifts for us from his foreign trips, she wanted whatever my dad had brought for me. We would end up fighting like crazy, and then our parents would just take that thing away to put an end to the war. I was my dad's favorite, and he would take my side while my mom and my elder sister were like best friends. If it was the mom who had to sort things out between us, it was definite that she was going to take my sister's side, while Dad was unbiased from the beginning. My dad died of a heart attack when I was 14, and his death affected me mentally and emotionally. I felt vulnerable and an odd one out in my own house. It felt like my mom and sister were a separate family, while I did not belong to them. My mom would take my sister's side, and all the rules in the house were for me. I would cry the whole night, and I miss my dad so much. As I grew older, I learned to deal with them and did not even care what they said or acted towards me. My sister became even ruder and controlling and wanted everything according to her. She helped Mom with managing finances, did groceries, and everything that had to be decided depending on her. You can imagine how she behaved with me all those years. I started dating a guy from my college, and he was the boy every girl would dream of. We would spend a lot of time together and be obsessed with each other. I introduced him to my family, and I could see my sister dying of jealousy. She told me later that such rich guys would never stay with anyone longer, and that he was going to dump me soon to jump on the next girl. I asked her if she wanted to be that next girl, and that pissed her off. She started screaming and yelling and told me that my relationship was going to fail, and then I would end up single for my whole life. It butthurt whenever I brought gifts home, which my boyfriend would give me, and when he would deliver anything to my house. My boyfriend has been the most caring person and never gives up on spoiling me. My boyfriend had asked me if I would like to move in with him, and that was the happiest day for me. I came back from college and told my mom that I was going to move in with my boyfriend. She said it was all right and did not say anything else. When we were having dinner, my mom told my sister that I was going to move in with my boyfriend. My sister said that I was too young and my boyfriend could not be trusted. I told my sister that I knew him better and she should just mind her own business. She said that I was her responsibility and she could not let me move out yet. I told her that I was my mom's responsibility and she had no issues with it. She looked at our mom, gave her a smirk, and asked her if she had any issues. My mom said that my sister was right and I could not move in with him. I packed my stuff the next day and was leaving when my sister said that they were not going to accept me back when my boyfriend would kick me out after using me. My mom and sister were all right after I had moved out and did not act rude after that. A few months later, my sister announced that she was dating a guy and he was far better than my boyfriend. The guy mixed up with the family and was very friendly. He had moved in with my family and my mom and sister treated him far better than they had ever treated me. My sister found out that she was pregnant and my mom was the happiest. My sister's boyfriend took my mom's jewelry, which she had kept with her at home, and ran from our house almost after a week. That left my mom and sister devastated, but I knew it was karma. I went to my house to console my sister, but she started yelling at the sight of me and told me that I was there to watch the drama and laugh at her. I told her that she deserved all that, and it was her fault. I told her that she did not only get dumped, but got our mom robbed too, so she deserved to cry like that. AITA? My fiance proposed to me on his birthday a couple of weeks later, and of course I said yes. My fiance told me that he wanted to see my family and break the news to them. I told him that my family was suffering emotionally and they would not appreciate that. He said that they had to move on as my sister's ex-boyfriend was a jerk and they could not waste their time crying over him. I agreed with him and we went to see my mom and sister. My fiance bought chocolates for them and we were all set to announce our engagement. My mom warmly welcomed us, but when my sister came out of her room, she told us that we were insensitive and were ridiculing her condition. She went on and said that I was only doing all that stuff to make her jealous and tell her that she was not worthy. I told her that she was acting crazy and had to come back to her senses. I left with my fiancé right after that. My mom called me and told me that I was the worst sister who did not care about her family and thought about myself only. I told her that they could mourn the loss as long as they wanted to, but I was not going to put a halt to my life. We had decided to get married, and when I told my mom about that, she said that I should at least wait until our degree is completed. I told her that my fiancé could not wait, and I had no issues either, so there was no reason to delay the wedding. She started my sister's topic and told her that she might not attend the wedding if she was still crying over that thief. The wedding preparation started, and I went to drop the invitation at my house. My sister was not there, so it was a calm visit. My fiancé had brought dresses for my mom and sister and told me that I should go and drop them off, as they would appreciate my gesture. I had no problem with that, so I agreed. When I went to my house, I heard my mom and sister whispering in my mom's bedroom. As I drew closer, I heard that my sister had planned to accuse my fiancé of impregnating her and was going to do that on my wedding day. To be honest, I was not shocked at all. I came back and kept thinking about doing something that was going to ruin everything for both of them. I have to get a DNA test, but I have no idea how to get a sample for that. So guys, I started visiting my family more often, even when I was busy with wedding preparation, because I needed a chance to get a sample, and that could only be done if I knew where my sister went for checkups. As I drew closer to her, I told her that I was going to accompany her to her appointments because I did not want her to feel left alone. I went with her and got to know about the clinic. I visited later to collect the sample and then went for the DNA test. I got the reports a few days later and then was waiting for my wedding day even more anxiously. That day, my sister grabbed the mic and started crying. She told everyone my fiancé had impregnated her and then dumped her, telling her that it was a mistake and that he only loved me. I told my husband to stay composed and let my sister complete her speech. I then held the mic and announced that I already knew my so-called family's plan, and that is why I had gone for a DNA test. I waved the reports in my hand and then called the guards to throw the ladies out. I'm writing this 2 days later and have not contacted them after that. Okay, so there were so many videos recorded by guests, and of course, they got posted everywhere. My mom and sister turned into a laughingstock through their own plan. I was enjoying the drama and did not even care how they were dealing with it. So many people kept texting me to ask what actually went wrong, but I didn't respond. My mom also tried to contact me, but I did not respond. She then called my mother-in-law and begged her to make me respond. My mother-in-law told me that they could be of no harm now and I could talk to them for once. I called my mom, and all she said was that they did not deserve that humiliation and I had to post and tell people that it was just a prank. I laughed my ass off and asked her what did she think when she was planning all that and how did she think it was going to end, even if I had not heard them planning. I then posted each detail on Facebook and explained what my ex-family was up to. I hope they enjoy it. NTA, that was absolutely what OP's family deserved and asked for. Hats off to OP, who dealt with them well and did not let them ruin her life. I was glad to know that OP had such a caring man who stood by her and loved her the way she deserved to be loved. OP should never see her family again because those ladies have no boundaries. NTA, the biggest a-hole here is OP's mom. How the hell a mom can emotionally torture her daughter when she was already dealing with the loss of her dad? It looked like OP's sister had hypnotized her and she could not see anything. Whatever OP's sister was going through was because of her own mistakes and no one was to be blamed but her. They are going to spend the rest of their life with their bullshit. My mom died when I was 6, and my dad got remarried when I was 11. My stepmom has always been really great. She married a guy with young kids, but never tried to take over or place herself into the family where my mom once was. She created a new slot, a different slot, and she made it work. But my dad's parents have always been pretty old school in their thinking. They used to see it as disrespectful that we called our stepmom Jean, or that she didn't adopt us. My dad and stepmom's wedding was sort of rushed because Jean was pregnant and my dad was due to have surgery on his back. So they did a very quick courthouse thing. Fast forward, and it's been about 30 years since they married, and my grandparents are giving her crap. I didn't realize at the time, but they had told her she should have worn some of my mom's jewelry, should have made some speech about taking over from her and tried to lay claim to my mom's life and possessions in some kind of way. The next 20 seconds of this video is sponsored by T-Burn. Imagine if your favorite tea, whatever that may be, could help ignite your metabolism and promote fat burning for the rest of the day, all while supporting your health and immunity, mood and feeling of well-being, focus, and cognitive function. Try T-Burn at almost $1 a day and with a no questions asked 100% money-back guarantee. Visit www.tburntrial.com or just click on the link in the first comment below. They said it would be comforting for us and show how much she respected her mom and appreciated that she was taking over for her. The whole thing is so damn weird and gross. I'm talking about both my mom and Jean. I can't imagine my mom would want Dad's second wife taking all the stuff she left behind for herself, instead of it being for her kids. Even more to make a speech that to me sounds a lot like, "You stay dead, this is mine now." And for Jean, she's not my mom. She's a different person. She will always be reminded that she only came because of heartache and pain, that she wasn't the first wife. She's not the mother. She's not the one we all have cried for and missed and wished we could have back. It has never bothered her, but I'm sure it was awkward at first. To find a place that respected that while also making her feel like she truly belonged and wasn't second best. But my grandparents essentially wanted her and still want her to become the person our mom was, instead of being her own unique person, on a day where she is celebrating her marriage to Dad and not my parents' marriage. So when I heard this being sad, and my dad was never aware of what went on, I told him it was creepy to expect her to take over another person's life like that, and that it's disgusting to try and bring someone down for not wanting to disrespect someone else's memory. I pointed out that trying to be them, trying to take over and replace them, is disrespectful and not some great honor. I also told them that Jean never tried to be our mother because she knew, always, that she wasn't, and she could never be. But she could be Jean, and she could be something different but important to our family. My grandparents are pissed. My dad could not believe it when he found out. He was so mad at his parents. Other family members are saying I took it all out of context and that I was the one being disrespectful to my grandparents and to Jean. AITA? NTA, but hot dog, you grandparents are. I'm proud of you for defending Jean. Even though the situation was BS, I bet in that moment she 100% felt that how she approached the situation when she married into your family was exactly perfect because your respect, love, and loyalty towards her was real. I'm a 56-year-old woman and I have 2 daughters, Haley, 32, and Stephanie, 29. Stephanie is 5 months pregnant with her first child. The father is not in the picture. Haley and her husband have been struggling with infertility for a few years. She has always been jealous of Stephanie, but the pregnancy is making her even more jealous. Recently, I threw a baby shower for Stephanie. Haley lives a 16-hour drive away and Stephanie lives 4 hours away. I have only one guest bedroom with a queen bed. I also have a futon in the basement. Haley and her husband arrived first, and I told them to sleep on the futon in the basement because the guest bedroom was reserved for Stephanie. I made up the futon with extra padding and thick blankets to make it as comfy as possible for them. Haley threw a fit because they drove 16 hours and I told her that Stephanie needed a comfortable bed because she's pregnant. Haley didn't listen, and she and her husband went into the guest bedroom to take a nap. They woke up and made the bed, then moved to the basement before Stephanie arrived. But Stephanie wasn't happy when she found out that her bed had already been slept in. They got into a small argument over that, and Haley accused me of playing favorites. I explained that she has never been pregnant, so she doesn't understand how taxing pregnancy can be on the body. The next morning, as we were getting ready for the baby shower, Stephanie saw on Instagram that the baby's father had found himself a new girlfriend. I spent an hour consoling her while Haley and her husband set up everything. I came downstairs and Haley started complaining about what a drama queen Stephanie is, and I'm enabling her. I told her that if she was going to keep up her negative attitude, she better leave because I wasn't going to let her ruin the baby shower. They left in a huff. When some of the guests asked why Haley wasn't there, I told them the truth, and a few thought that I was being too harsh. AITA? YTA, pregnant women need support and attention, but should not be given at too much of the expense of others. You are being unfair to Haley and her husband. No real harm was done when all they wanted was a bed to lie in after 16 hours of driving. It didn't even affect Stephanie, who wasn't there. Your comment of, she's never been pregnant before so she doesn't understand, is what solidifies you as the AH. That was a poor, unnecessary comment that took a jab at something Haley clearly cares a lot for. You think she doesn't want to be pregnant? It's like telling a blind man we need sunglasses and then saying, oh, you've never seen the sun before, you don't know how taxing it is to stare at it. You definitely should talk to Haley about it and apologize for the insensitive comment. I read it and it hurt for me, and I'm not even a woman. YTA, after a 16-hour drive, you should have put them up in the guest room or told them to get a motel ahead of time. Also, a dick move to throw the fact that Haley has never been pregnant in her face like that.